What is up, YouTubelettes? It is PuddlesA1 here, and I am bringing you another narrated Wi-Fi battle. Today, guys, I have an NU match versus Teo. He's a guy I met on the Smoking server, and yeah, I'm using my hyper-offensive NU team. I did take off the Butterfree and the Sawsbuck, and I replaced them with a Haunter and a Kadabra. I like the two together. They have very nice offensive synergy. They just work together on the same team well. I just like them. So I want to talk about my opponent's team because he has big threats on his team. Like the Sock, if his Sock is scarfed, he can lock himself into Earthquake and take out half my team, being Haunter, Heatmore, and Rampardos. And he can also lock himself into close combat, do a lot of damage to all of my team except for Haunter, and take out two more of my guys, being Rampardos and Cacturn. And then everything that his Sock leaves behind, his Braviary and his what's that thing called? His Skuntank can pretty much clean up the rest. If his Braviary is scarfed, on the other hand, he can lock himself into Brave Bird and do a hefty chunk to everything I have. And the rest of the Pokemon that I have are pretty much walled by Skuntank. My Cacturn's walled by it. My Kadabra's trapped by it, and my Sock, or my not my Sock, but my Samurott can't really do too much to it. Like outside of hydro pumping it, because that's really all I have to hit it. But yeah, that's about it, guys. So here we go. My opponent's going to be leading off with the Sock because I decided to lead off with my Haunter. I figured I could lead off with Haunter because the thing was, this was supposed to be a choice scarfed Haunter. I actually missabbed a Haunter back in Black and White 1, and when I transferred it over to Black and White 2, I never fixed the missab, so it doesn't have choice scarfed. It actually has life orbs. So I actually just go for the sludge bomb here because I figured that it would have sturdy, the Sock. I didn't notice that it had mold breaker up until he switched out, and I was like, oh yeah, he had mold breaker. I went for the sludge bomb so I could get the 30% paralysis, or the 30% poison, my mistake, and then just take him out at the end of the turn. But he does in fact just go out into this Braviary to take a predicted Shadow Ball, which I don't go for, and then he goes for the Brave Bird, telling me that he is scarfed, but it doesn't matter because he takes himself out to the recoil of Brave Bird. So now we have a double down, and I go into my Kadabra as he goes out into, I believe, his Sock again. So he's going to want to switch out here because the Psychic is painfully obvious, and because it's so painfully obvious, the switching the Skuntank is even more obvious. So I'm going to go for the HP Ground. It's super effective, and I'm actually going to get the critical hit on this Skuntank. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, because on this Kadabra set, I'm pretty sure I have Encore, and if he did go for the Pursuit or the Sucker Punch on the following turn, Encore would have just locked him into it. I could have switched out. I would have avoided it. He would have died anyway. So he goes out into his Gardevoir, double switches out, and goes back into his Sock, thinking maybe I'm going to switch out, but I really don't need to. I do have a Signal Beam. I can hit Psychic types, and he does just go back into his Sock, and he's going to switch out here, I believe, as I go into my Rampardos, and I don't know who he goes into, a Lomomola, I think. I don't know why he brought in the Sock. Maybe it was a misclick. I'm not sure. Oh, he goes into the Gardevoir and traces my Mold Breaker. I'm going to go for the Crunch on this turn, knowing I can deal a huge amount of damage to this thing. He's going to have to switch again. I'm pretty sure that's his fourth switch in a row, maybe his third. But I do go for the Crunch as he brings in the Alomomola, and it does like 20% to this thing. And I'm okay with that damage because that's not Stab, and I'm a Rampardos. So I figure here I can just go for a Head Smash and do a huge amount of damage because that Stab, that's like 150 base power, and I'm Life Orb Adamant, I believe. So that almost takes it out. I just barely missed out on the KO, and after recoil and stuff, I'm going to be down to 3 more Life Orb hits, but he does go for the Toxic. In my opinion, I feel like that's a bad play because he should have just went for the Waterfall, hoping to take me out at that point, because now he just lets my Rampardos live. If I wanted to, I could switch out and save it for later, even to outspeed some other things, but I don't really want to do that. I'm just going to go for the Head Smash, predicting a switch out into something else for him to get the Regenerator boost, but now I know he's just going to leave this thing in until my Rampardos dies, so I decided to go for a Crunch here, seeing as how it did like 20% the first time. I know I can take it out from this range the second time, depending on min-max damage rolls. So luckily I do take it out, and we have yet again another double down, and here I go into my Samurott as he goes into, who? I don't know. Oh, he goes into Gardevoir, and I'm just going to go for the Hydro Pump. I'm not sure about this Gardevoir set just yet, but after this damage I should be able to know, and it does around half HP. I'm not entirely sure if that means especially defensive right off the bat, but I'm guessing it's going to lean more towards that regard just because I do see the Will-O-Wisp, and on this turn you're going to see Protect. So I'm guessing he has the wish, so as I go for the hydro pump and he protects himself, on this turn I'm actually going to go for the taunt to stop him from setting up a wish, knowing that he's going to want to do that right now because he is at that range of HP where I can possibly take him out with 2 more hydro pumps, or maybe even a hydro pump and then a hidden power grass or ice, whichever one I have. Oh, a hidden power electric, none of those things. So he's going to switch out here and go into his Musharna as I decide to go for yet another hydro pump, like I said. And I really like that little star thing. I don't know how people do it. I wish I could do it. I wish I could figure out how to do it, but I like it a lot. I do over half. I do about as much actually as I did to the Gardevoir. So I'm thinking that this one might be a little more offensive, just because it says bulky, but I'm not entirely sure if that really means bulky. I go for a hydro pump, thinking I can take it out because I did over half the first time, but he goes for a moonlight as I miss my hydro pump. I really should have went for the taunt there, played it safe, but hey, that's just the game. So I go for a taunt on this turn just to stop him from going for any other attacking move, as he does just go for the psychic here. Now, knowing that he has psychic and most likely nothing else but psychic to hit me, I'm actually going to switch out here and go into my Cacturn, as he does in fact reveal the psychic. Now, I know he's not going to want to stay in here and take a sucker punch, so I'm actually going to set up a substitute on his switch out, as he does in fact switch out and go into his Gardevoir, and my sub happens. He traces my water absorb. I feel like he was trying to catch me having Sandveil, and he was like, oh, you know, technicality, I win, like. But that's not the case. He's actually going to run here, which I thought was just completely outlandish, because he did still have the Sock, a Musharna at full, and the Gardevoir. Just because I did have the Sucker Punch to hit him doesn't really mean anything, because he could have just stalled me out. I mean, I did set up a sub so he can't Will-O-Wisp me, but he could have easily just switched out into his Sock and gone for close combats, because I believe all I had left was my Kadabra, my Samurott, my Heatmore, and my Cacturn. Yeah, maybe that was the best bet. So hey, good game, Teo. Thank you guys for watching. I'm pretty much done. So follow me on Twitter, follow me on Tumblr, add me on Skype. PuddlesA1 is the name throughout all that. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here, guys. Peace, love, and wait a second. I forgot. You guys can go ahead and click the Cacturn to see my last video. Click the Haunter to see my next one when I upload it. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Tumblr, add me on Skype. PuddlesA1 is the name throughout all that. Thank you guys for watching. Peace, love, and later, Gators. Got it right.